Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of SAT Sports with yours truly, Marcus. I will be going solo for the remainder of the month because, first off, my co-host Freddie, I want to send a big congratulations to him, a brand new baby girl. He's daddy number 2. Congratulations, man. I'm so happy. She's a beautiful baby. She looks healthy. She looks great. I can't wait to have you back coming in April. So I'm going to keep it solo, but we're going to keep it kind of simple with the next few months here, but it's gonna be fun. We're gonna kind of keep it simple today. I'm mainly gonna focus on the NFL free agency as well as the update of conference tournament play as we get ready for that big dance, March Madness, the NCAA tournament coming up. I know the men's tournament is in Arizona, Glendale at State Farm Stadium. The women's is in Cleveland, Ohio at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. But real quick, I want to get to one of the big main talks, the NFL free agency. So for the last about week now, we've seen players resign, get traded, get cut, get some extensions. So it was so much to keep up with. So we'll go by all 32 teams with how this came about. That damn fly flying everywhere. And I'm so glad I'm able to do this because I didn't think I was going to be able to do a show this week with my sickness happened here. We already got comments coming in. What's going on, Justin? How you doing? Representing us. So when it comes to the NFL free agencies, we'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. They've only had one re-sign. Edge rusher LJ Collier re-signed for 1 year. They've also picked up quarterback Sean Murphy-Bunting for 3 years, worth $25 million. Bial Nichols for 3 years for $21 million. Justin Jones for 3 years at $30 million. Linebacker Mack Wilson for 3 years at $12.75 million. Running back DJ Dallas for 3 years at $8.25 million. And tackle Jonah Williams for 2 years at $30 million. They extended center Keith Ismail, and they've released tackle DJ Humphries. For the Atlanta Falcons, they've only had one release in tight end Jonnu Smith. They've also re-signed linebacker Nate Landman, and they've also signed probably the big one, quarterback Kirk Cousins, the former Minnesota Viking, for 4 years at $180 million. They've also signed tight end Charlie Warner for 3 years at $12 million and signed wide receiver Darnell Mooney for 3 years at $39 million. For the Ravens, 4 re-signs here, and wide receiver Nelson Aguilar for 1 year at $3.75 million. DI Justin Madubik for 4 years at $98 million, and Brent Urban for 1 year. They haven't showed his salary for that one either. They've also signed the former Tennessee Titan running back Derrick Henry at 2 years for $16 million. What's up, Jordan? Tuning in. One of my co-hosts of the World Elite Podcast. Let's see what else for the Ravens here. Oh, and they also released edge rusher Tyus Bowser. Kind of cool nickname right there. Tyus Bowser right here. All right, so the Buffalo Bills, you know how this team has been playing for the last several years. Could have been a contender for the Super Bowl, but they just could never get that close to it. But, man, look at all these releases from these previous teams that have made it to the AFC Championship the farthest. They've released guys like safety Jordan Poirier, cornerback Siren Neal, center Mitch Morse, running back Nyheim Hines, wide receiver Deontay Hardy, LSU boy Tre'Davious White, but he's posted for June 1st. That's all the releases they got there. They've also re-signed guard David Edwards for 2 years at $6 million, punter Matt Hack for 1 year. Also re-signing safety Taylor Rapp for 3 years at $10.625 million. Edge rusher AJ Epenza 2 years for $12 million. Daquan Jones for 2 years at $16 million. But they also signed quarterback Mitch Trubisky, the former Steeler, for 2 years at $5.25 million. So it looks like Josh Allen's got himself a backup. They've also signed linebacker Nicholas Morrow for 1 year and wide receiver Mac Hollins for 1 year. Carolina Panthers, just a couple of releases here, releasing center Bradley Bozeman, tight end Hayden Hurst, safety Von Bell. They've also re-signed J.J. Jansen for 1 year, and they re-signed wide receiver Amir Smith Marcess for 1 year. They franchise tag edge rusher Brian Burns, and they've also acquired via trade Deontay Johnson, the wide receiver, plus they signed guard Robert Hunt for 5 years at $100 million, guard Damian Lewis for 4 years at $53 million, and signed cornerback Dane Jackson. For the Chicago Bears, they had a lot of signees here. Only 2 releases. They released guard Cody Whitehair and safety Eddie Jackson. They've acquired for a trade in Ryan Bates, the offensive guard. They've re-signed cornerback Jalen Johnson for 4 years at $76 million, and safety Patrick Scales for 1 year at $1.21 million. But they've signed quite a bit of names to various more. Kevin Byard for 2 years at $15 million. DeAndre Swift for 3 years at $24 million. Gerald Everett for 2 years at $12 million. Safety Jonathan Owens at 2 years for $4.5 million. Tackle Matt Pryor for 1 year. Quarterback Bet Ripien for 1 year. And linebacker Amin Ogbongbemiga, if I said his name right, for 1 year at $2.1 million. Short list for the Cincinnati Bengals. They did franchise tag wide receiver T. Higgins. They've also signed safety Geno Stone for 2 years and running back Zach Moss for 2 years. Geno's at $15 million, Zach Moss at $8 million. They've re-signed guard Cody Ford for 1 year and running back Travion Williams for 1 year and linebacker Akeem Davis-Gaither for 1 year. They only had 1 release, and that was safety Nick Scott. For the Cleveland Browns, they've acquired a trade with wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. They've signed edge rusher Zadarius Smith for 2 years, linebacker Jordan Hicks for 2 years, and, of course, this one kind of hurt me the most. Quarterback Jameis Winston, the former New Orleans Saint, for 1 year. He's getting $4 million with Cleveland. Jordan, $8 million. Smith for $23.5 million. They've also signed running back Nyheim Hines, re-signing guards Michael Dunn and Shelby Harris, and they've also re-signed the punter Corey Bojerquez for 2 years. Probably one of the shortest lists I'm looking at so far. The Dallas Cowboys have only re-signed Carl Davis Jr. and Trent Sieg. Carl Davis is getting 1 year, but they've also signed linebacker Eric Kendricks. The Broncos, probably the biggest one here, but we saw it coming. They're releasing quarterback Russell Wilson. You'll know where he's going when I get to that in a bit. They've also released Justin Simmons, tight end Chris Manhertz. They've also re-signed P.J. Loki, Will Lutz, Michael Burton, Adam Trotman, and Lil Jordan Humphrey. They've also signed Brandon Jones for 3 years at $20 million and signed Malcolm Roach for 2 years. So Malcolm was with the Saints, then the Falcons, and now he's going with the Broncos. Detroit Lions had quite a bit of re-signs here I'll get to. They only had 1 release in safety Tracy Walker. They have acquired Carlton Davis III via trade, but they did sign edge rusher Marcus Davenport for 1 year at $6.5 million and cornerback Amik Robertson for 2 years at $9.25 million. But they've re-signed Michael Badgley, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Zonovan Knight, Shane Zylstra, Emmanuel Mosley, Graham Glasgow, and Dan Skipper. The Packers released only 1 player in Devondre Campbell, but his post will be on June 1st, and Aaron Jones as well. They've signed Josh Jacobs for 4 years at $48 million and Xavier McKinney for 4 years at $68 million, re-signing Keyshawn Nixon, Corey Ballertine, and Tyler Davis. The Houston Texans, they've acquired some re-signings and signs. They've probably one of the only teams we don't see get released. They've re-signed, look at this, Dalton Schultz, Kami Fairbairn, Chris Boyd, Eric Murray, Desmond King II, Khalil Davis, Noah Brown. That's all re-signs there, but they've also signed Foley Fatukasi, Lonnie Jones Jr., Jeff Okuda, Denico Autry, Mike Ford, Aziz Al-Shier, Tommy Townsend, Delshon Phillips, Danielle Hunter, and David Sharp. But they've also acquired the former Bengals running back Joe Mixon via trade. Watch this team coming into the 2024 season. They keep this going. It could be contenders. For the Indianapolis Colts, they've extended Jack Anderson for 1 year and Zaire Franklin for 3 years. They've re-signed Michael Pittman Jr., Tyquan Lewis, Grover Stewart, Rigoberto Sanchez, Kenny Moore II, Ronnie Harrison, and Jannard Avery, while signing Raekwon Davis and Joe Flacco. Yeah, so Joe Flacco no longer with the Cleveland Browns. He's going to the Indianapolis Colts. Will he be the starter? That's going to be the big $1 million question for the Indianapolis Colts here. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've released a few players in Foley, Tukasai, Darius Williams, Rayshawn Jenkins. They franchise tagged edge rusher Josh Allen, not the QB, for the Bills. They've re-signed Ezra Cleveland, Daniel Thomas, and Jeremiah Ledbetter. They have acquired former Crimson Tide quarterback Mac Jones via trade, so Mac Jones will no longer be with the New England Patriots. They've also signed Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis, Darnell Savage, Devin Duvernay, Ronald Darby, and they've re-signed running back Dearness Johnson. For the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, they've only released one player in wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They franchise tag cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, re-signing Drew Tranquill and Chris Jones. They've also re-signed Deion Bush and Mike Pennell and signed Herb Smith Jr. for the Las Vegas Raiders. A couple of big releases here, including three quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, Gardner, two quarterbacks they released, actually. Brian Hoyer and Jimmy Garoppolo are both gone, but they've signed Gardner Minshew for 2 years at $25 million, the former Jacksonville Jaguar. They've also released Jerry Tilleray. They've re-signed Amir Abdullah for 1 year for $1.85 million. They've also released Hunter Renfrow and signed tight end Harrison Bryant. The Chargers had 4 releases in Eric Kendricks, Andrew Trainer, AJ Uzadimna, and Mike Williams, and signing running back Gus Edwards for 2 years and tight end Will Dissly for 3 years, and they've re-signed safety Alohi Gilman for 2 years. For the Rams, they've only released one player in Brian Allen, re-signing wide receiver Demarcus Robinson for a year and guard Kevin Dotson for 3 years, signing Jonah Jackson, Kobe Parkinson, and Darius Williams. Darius Williams getting $22.5 million there for 3 years. The Miami Dolphins had a few releases here in Emmanuel Ogbah, Keon Crossan, Jerome Baker, and Xavier Howard. They've signed Isaiah Mack, Javion Nixon, Jonnu Smith, Anthony Walker Jr., Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, Shaquille Barrett, Jordan Poirier, Saran Neal, and Neville Gallimore, and re-signed Elijah Campbell, Jake Bailey, Nick Needham, and Xavier Howard. The Minnesota Vikings only released 2 players I'm looking at here, and Alexander Madison and Dean Lowry. They've re-signed a few in Nick Muse, Johnny Mutt, Blake Brando, David Queensberry, Dean Lowry, and Jonathan Bullard. And then they're also signing Jonathan Renard, as well as Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, Sam Darnold, the former Panther quarterback, John Parker Romo, and running back Aaron Jones. So that's another crazy signing there. Aaron Jones coming to the Vikings for 1 year at $6 million. Let's see, for the Patriots, they did sign a quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, but fingers are crossed, man. Fingers are crossed that it's going to be the Heisman. Jaden Daniels getting drafted by the Patriots. A few releases. We got Lawrence Guy, J.C. Jackson, Adrian Phillips, Devontae Parker. They franchise tag Kyle Duggar. They've signed Chukwuma Okafor. They've also signed Antonio Gibson, Jacoby Brissett, I mentioned, for 1 year at $8 million. Sion Takita Kai, how do you say his name? Tight end Austin Hooper, and they signed Armon Watts. For the New Orleans Saints, so far they've released safety Marcus May. Supposedly they're going to be releasing Michael Thomas, but nothing was official yet. They did extend Tyrann Mathieu for 2 years at $13 million. Plus, they signed fullback Xander Horvath at 2 years for $1.918 million, and linebacker Willie Gay for 1 year with a maximum of $5 million. The Giants, they've released Mark Glowinski. That's the only release they've had so far. For Daniel Jones, rumors have it they were going to keep him at least 1 more year, and then possibly by next year they could end up getting rid of him. They've re-signed Casey Crater, wide receiver Gunnar Olszewski. They've also signed John Runyon, Devin Singletary, Jermaine Elamore, Drew Lock, Jalen Mills, and Isaiah McKenzie. And they've acquired Brian Burns via trade. For the Jets, a few releases here. They've released Malik Hall, Laken Tomlinson, CJ Uzamoth. They've re-signed Chuck Clark, Greg Zuerlein, and Thomas Morstead. They've signed Isaiah Oliver, John Simpson, Javon Kinlaw, and Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's coming for 2 years. And acquiring for a trade, they're getting Morgan Moses here. For the Philadelphia Eagles, a few releases here. Kevin Byard, Avonte Maddox, Fletcher Cox, all getting released. They signed Julian Akwar, re-signed Albert Akui Bungum, says his name right. Also Brandon Graham and Braden Mann. They've also extended Jake Elliott's contract. They've also signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson for 3 years at a maximum of $33 million. Devontae Parker, Matt Hennessy, Zach Bond, Saquon Barkley, which I was hoping he was going to go to the Houston Texans. Saquon's going to the Eagles 3 years at $37.75 million. Also, Bryce Huff as well is going to the Eagles as well. But retirees, we know Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce both announced their retirements for the Eagles. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, oh, man, they've released quite a bit of people. Mitch Trubisky, Presley Harvin III, Chukwuma Okorafor, Mason Cole, Keanu Neal, Patrick Peterson, Allen Robinson II. Re-signed Miles Kilbrew. They've acquired Dante Jackson from a trade, and they also signed the former LSU Tiger and Baltimore Raven Patrick Queen for 3 years for $41 million, Cameron Johnson for 3 years, and another LSU Tiger, Breiden Fioco, who was with the Chargers. So that's 2 LSU Tigers with the Steelers there. 49ers, let's see. They've released Isaiah Oliver and Arik Armstead. They've re-signed Colton McKivitz, Brandon Allen, George Odom, and Kevin Givens. They've also signed Leonard Floyd, Uter Gross-Matos, and they also signed Jordan Elliott, and they've required Malik Collins via trade. We're almost done here. We got only about 4 more teams to go here. For the Seahawks, they've had quite a bit of releases. Will Dissly, Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, Brian Moan, Nick Bellore. They've re-signed Noah Fant, Leonard Williams, Artie Burns, and Darrell Taylor. Plus, they've signed Nick Harris, Rayshon Jenkins, and George Fant. For Tampa Bay, I know they released Shaquille Barrett. They've also re-signed Mike Evans for 2 years at $41 million. The quarterback Baker Mayfield for 3 years at $100 million. That's a lot for 3 years. They've also re-signed Chase McLaughlin, Greg Gaines, Chase Edmonds, and Levante David. And they've also signed Jordan Whitehead for 2 years at $9 million and franchise tag safety Antoine Winfield Jr. For the Tennessee Titans, good sign here. No releases. They've only re-signed 2 players in Morgan Cox and Nick Folk, and they've signed quite a bit of players in Tony Pollard for 3 years, Lord Cook III, Chidobe Awuzie, Kenny Murray Jr., Shadé Charles, quarterback Mason Rudolph for 1 year, and former Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley for 4 years at $92 million. And finally, the Washington Commanders. I've only seen 3 releases in Charles Leno Jr., Logan Thomas, and Nick Gates. They've re-signed Jeremy Reeves, and the following they've signed in Zach Ertz at 1 year, Dorrance Armstrong, Tyler Biadasz, Frankie Lavu, Austin Eckler for 2 years, Brandon McManus, Nick Allegretti, Celine Farrell, Marcus Mariota. So he's no longer with the Atlanta Falcons. He's got 1 year at Washington for $6 million. So I don't see Washington drafting Jaden Daniels. I still think he's going to New England. Tyler Ott, Jeremy Chin, and Bobby Wagner for 1 year. So we'll see how this looks. So I know they're going to have more to come later in the week, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. Dylan, I'll commenting as well. I think I was a little late commenting there. But what's going on, Dylan? Well, that'll do it for the NFL free agency talk here. I'll get to NASCAR real quick because this ain't going to take long, but they just had the Shriner Children's 500 in Phoenix. It was won by Christopher Bell with Chris Buescher at runner-up and Ty Gibbs coming in 3rd place. But Tyler Reddick took stage 1, and then, of course, Christopher Bell took stage 2 in the final stage. And next race on St. Patrick's Day, probably one of my favorite racetracks. They're heading, I think they call it the Thunder Valley, but Bristol Motor Speedway's up next, the Food City 500. Bristol, Tennessee, one of my favorite racetracks, along with Talladega, Texas Motor Speedway, Daytona 500. Throw Phoenix in that list or even Vegas, but looking forward to that. I'm going to watch what I can of it. I'm hoping William Byron can win himself another race. He hadn't won since the Daytona 500. But, NASCAR, you never know these days with that. Let's see what else we got for today. All right. Now we're going to talk a little bit of college hoops. How we're doing is, so far there's still conference championships going on. That's going to be going on through the week, both in men's and women's. Some have kicked it off a little early. Some have actually starting today. For example, the SEC tournament kicks off today, and it will conclude, I think, on Saturday or Sunday. As of right now, I think only for the men's conference championship tournament champions, only 12 champions have been crowned so far. We still got more to go. So as of right now, these teams have automatically qualified for the NCAA tournament. The ASUN champions go to Stetson University, making their first appearance in school history. They had an overall record of 22-12 with an 11-5 record. They win the tournament, defeating Austin Peay 94-91. So congratulations to those guys. For the Big South, it's Lonewood making their second appearance, first time since 2022. Congratulations to those guys. They win the Big South tournament, defeating UNC Asheville 85-59. The Coastal Athletic Association tournament goes to the Charleston Cougars. Congratulations to those guys. Seventh appearance, first time since last year. They win 82-79 over Stony Brook. The Horizon League goes to the Golden Grizzlies of Oakland, making their fourth appearance for the first time since 2011. They beat Milwaukee 83-76. The Missouri Valley champions go to the Drake Bulldogs, making their seventh appearance for the first time since a year ago. They win that tournament 84-80 against Indiana State. The NEC Northeast Conference champions go to the Wagner Seahawks, making their only second appearance for the first time since 2003. They win their tournament 54-47 over Merrimack. And the in Ohio Valley Conference champions go to the Eagles of Morehead State, making their ninth appearance for the first time since 2021. They win 69-55 over Little Rock. The Southern Conference champions go to the Sanford Bulldogs. They make their third appearance for the first time since 2000. They win 76-69 over East Tennessee State. The Sun Belt champions go to the Dukes of James Madison, making their sixth appearance. Last was 2013. They win 91-71 over Arkansas State. And lastly, in the West Coast Conference, the St. Mary Gales advance to their 13th NCAA tournament. The last appearance was a year ago. They beat Gonzaga in a hell of a game, 69-60. So we do have quite a bit of games left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the brackets. I'll make a few predictions here. Some championship games are officially set. The tournaments are still going on, so I'll just make like a final two prediction. We'll go from there. So let's look at the American East bracket. The championship game is set. Vermont taking on UMass Lowell. I'm going to go with Vermont in this one. See if they can qualify. The American Athletic Conference Championship, the tournament actually started today. Only 2 games so far, but looking at who the heavy favorites are, like South Florida, UAB, Florida Atlantic, and Charlotte are the favorites. But it's going to be a tough one, but you know what? Give me South Florida winning over Florida Atlantic to make it to the NCAA tournament. The Atlantic 10 bracket kicked off on Tuesday. The quarterfinals are officially set. You got Richmond and St. Joseph, UMass, VCU, Loyola Chicago, St. Bonaventure, Dayton, and Duquesne. Give me Loyola Chicago. Dylan, if you're still tuning in, what's that professor's name? That old lady who goes to all those games. She's like almost 100 years old. She's like their good luck charm. You know who I'm talking about. Give me Loyola Chicago winning another conference tournament and punching a ticket to the NCAA tournament. I got them beating Richmond. I hope they can pull it off. So I'm going with Loyola Chicago to beat Richmond in that one. The ACC men's tournament kicked off on Tuesday. I think we know what it's going to come down to. I'm sticking with the Tar Heels. I think they win it all. Who they're going to play? I think they're going to play Duke. I think we're going to get a third matchup my opinion, the greatest rivalry in college basketball. It's got to be North Carolina and Duke. They're going to have another one, and for a third time this season, it goes to the Tar Heels, taking down the Duke Blue Devils. So let's hope it keeps it going. The Big East tournament, it kicked off today, so we're about to head to the quarterfinals. I know there's only one first-round game left with Villanova and DePaul. I have UConn going to the finals in this tournament. I think they could probably play the winner out of maybe Creighton or Marquette. That's two good teams right there. Creighton, though, has had a hell of a season this year. They have beaten UConn once this year. It was one of their biggest wins. That would be a crazy rematch if they could happen. As bad as I want Creighton to win that tournament, I'm going to have to probably go with UConn. UConn wins the Big East. Meanwhile, the Big Sky championship is set. Montana State and Montana. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Give me the Bobcats of Montana State. Montana State will take that one. The Big Ten, I think it's no surprise. I got Purdue. Purdue's easily going to win that. Who they're going to beat in the finals, it's going to be a tough one. Possibly, watch out for Ohio State. Watch out for Illinois. Nebraska's another team to watch out for. But, give me Purdue winning over Nebraska. I think that's how it's going to go down. The Big West tournament, a lot of California teams here and one Hawaii teams. You know what? I got UC Irvine winning this tournament over UC Davis. There we go. Conference USA. Looking at this bracket here, it started on Tuesday. All quarterfinal games are being played tonight and tomorrow night. Sam Houston State is the number 1 seed. There could be a heavy favorite. I'm gonna go with the Bearcats. Give me Sam Houston State beating Western Kentucky. That should be a good matchup there. So I got Sam Houston State qualifying. Ivy League. It's only 4 teams. Princeton takes on Brown. Yale takes on Cornell, which Princeton has always been the most dominant basketball program in the Ivy League. So give me the Princeton Tigers. I think they beat Yale. Give me Princeton. There's 2 MAC conferences. You got the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, plus you got the Mid-American Conference. We're going to go to Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference here. A lot of teams who don't know. This is the conference there that Peacock team from New York, St. Peter's is in, but they're number 5 seed. Quinnipiac's the number 1 seed. They already punched a ticket to the semifinals. I would like to see an upset. I think they could continue that run. Give me the Peacocks of St. Peter's winning this tournament at number 5. Who they can beat, I think they might play Fairfield, the number 2 seed in this bracket. So I'm going to go with St. Peter's winning that one. Makes it they can have another Magic run, possibly another Sweet 16 appearance. This is the MAC Conference, Mid-American Conference. Let me keep this one simple. I'm going to go with Toledo. Toledo wins this. Who they take down, I think they're going to probably play the Bobcats of Ohio. 1 versus 3 showdown. All right, MEAC Conference. This one could be kind of easy to tell, too. Give me Norfolk State going to the tournament, winning this one. I think they take the win over South Carolina State, the Bulldogs. So I'll pick them in that one. The Mountain West. This is simple here. Give me Boise State over Utah State. I think Boise State can sneak their way in there. Go with the Broncos in this one. The Pac-12. Ooh, this should be an interesting one here. Arizona, I got them winning it. Arizona wins the Pac-12. Who they take down? That's probably Colorado. I think Arizona, Colorado in the championship. Wildcats get it done. The Patriot League. Actually, this game was just played today, so I'm going to have to add this down. Colgate wins the Patriot League Tournament Championship. They beat Lehigh 74-55. So I'm going to go take a look at that history here. So again, congratulations to Colgate. They had a 16-2 record, by the way. They are heading to, I don't even say. How many? Oh, well, this is their fourth consecutive year. They went last year. They've only been to a total. This is now their seventh appearance for the Colgate Raiders. So congratulations to Colgate. Fourth consecutive year, by the way. 7 overall. The SEC, okay, this one is going to be a nail biter for this one because it can go either way. Tennessee won the regular season. LSU got a first-round bye, by the way. They're taking on Mississippi State, but I don't like LSU's chances of getting far. If they were to pull it off with Mississippi State, they would fall to Tennessee in the quarterfinals. But I'm going to have to go with you got the favorites. Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, and Alabama are the 4 favorites to win this one. But I'm going to go with Kentucky winning the SEC tournament over Tennessee. So I'm going with the Wildcats in this one. This one was just finalized, I know. That's why I'm ripping them today. Congratulations to our hometown team, the McNeese Cowboys. They win the Southland Conference regular season championship, and they win the Southland Conference tournament that they hosted. 92-76 over Nichols. Will Wade's first season as the head coach for the Cowboys. Third appearance in the NCAA tournament in franchise history. Their last was 2002, so go Pokes. I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to kind of be honest about it. I would love to at least see them get past the first round. I would love for them to at least make it to the Sweet 16. That would be fucking great. I don't think they've ever got farther than the second round, the last I remember. Matter of fact, we can check that right now. But I would love for them to at least get to the Sweet 16. That would be absolutely stacked there. So the farthest, so looking at it, yes, this is only their third appearance. The farthest they've ever got was the second round. So they have never got past the second round except one time. This would be historical if they can at least get to the Sweet 16. I'm at least going to shoot for that. I definitely got them winning the first round, but let's see if they can get to the Sweet 16 at least. That's the goal right there. All right, so the Summit League was actually played yesterday. South Dakota State wins that tournament 76-68 over Denver. So that will go to the defending national champs in the FCS, the Jackrabbits. They're on their way to there. Well, they've been in quite a bit of. This might be their first ever Division I tournament. Because what I'm looking at here is it's only tournament appearances in Division II or mainly Division II. Okay, here we go. Division I. This is their 7th appearance. Their last was 2022. So congratulations to the Jackrabbits winning the Summit League, punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And then finally, the WAC Conference Championship Tournament. Still got teams left playing. I think it's going to be Grand Canyon University advancing, beating UT Arlington. So that's our predictions for the men's bracket. The women's, well, they had quite a bit of tournaments champions that were already crowned. Of the American Athletic Conference, Rice wins that tournament 61-41 over East Carolina. They're going to their 4th appearance for the first time since 2019. The Atlantic 10 champions go to Richmond. They win 65-51 over Rhode Island. 4th appearance for the first time since 2005. The ACC championship, plus could be a favorite to go to the Final Four. Notre Dame wins the ACC championship tournament. They win over NC State 55-51. 29th appearance. Last was last year. Big 12 champs. I watched this game. Went to the Texas Longhorns. They beat Iowa State 70-53. That's another team you kind of want to watch out for to make a Final Four. They're going to their 36th NCAA tournament. Their last was a year ago. Another team to look out for, the Big East champs, UConn, who wins 78-42 over Georgetown. They're going to their 35th NCAA tournament. Their last was a year ago. Big Sky champs went to Eastern Washington, who beat Northern Arizona 73-64. They're going only to their second tournament. Their last appearance was 1987. However, this next team from the Big South, Presbyterian College, wins 60-37 over Radford. They're going to their first ever NCAA tournament. Congratulations to them. This team here, a heavy favorite to possibly win it all. The Big Ten champs, the Iowa Hawkeyes, led by Caitlin Clark. They went into overtime to beat Nebraska 94-89. They're going to their 30th appearance. Their last was a year ago, where they went into the national championship, where they lost to LSU. The Horizon League champs went to Green Bay. They beat Cleveland State, but actually they don't show a score here. So we'll have to look at that, see if it pops up. The Ohio Valley champions went to UT Martin. They beat Southern Indiana 83-51. They're going to their fifth NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. Pac-12 champs, of course, went to USC. I watched a little bit of this game. They beat Stanford 74-61, 18th appearance. Their last was a year ago. All right, this game here, the SEC Championship, South Carolina beat LSU 79-72, despite the fight that broke out late in the fourth period. With how that all turned out, both benches were ejected for the remainder of it was like 2 minutes left in the game. South Carolina still won the game, but LSU starters were not on the bench when it cleared. So LSU will have all 5 of their starters when they go into their first round of the playoff game, where the rest of their bench will have to sit out a game. For South Carolina's undefeated 32-0 team, only 3 of their 5 starters were on that bench, and they will have to sit out a game. Only 2 starters will get to play. But that still makes South Carolina a heavy favorite to win it all. We'll see when we get there. The Southern Conference champs go to Chattanooga, who beat UNC Greensboro 69-60. They're going to their 17th appearance, first since last year. The Summit League champs, just like the men's, go to South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits beat North Dakota State 67-54. They're going to their 12th appearance, first time since a year ago. Sunbelt champs go to the Thundering Herd of Marshall. They beat James Madison 95-92. They're going only to their second playoff NCAA tournament. Their last was 1997. And finally, for the West Coast Conference, it goes to Portland State. Not Portland State, just Portland. They beat Gonzaga 67-66. That was a big upset, going only to their 6th appearance. The last bid was a year ago. So we actually don't have many predictions for this one. For these, I'm just going to pick a straight-up winner. The American East Championship, Maine versus Vermont. I'm going to go with Maine on that one. The ASUN Championship game will be Florida Gulf Coast taking on Central Arkansas. I'm going to go with Florida Gulf Coast on that one. Big West, couple of teams left here. I'm going to go with UC Irvine also. I got UC Irvine winning that one. The CAA, give me Stony Brook. I got Stony Brook winning that one. Conference USA, I'm going to go with Liberty to win that one. The Ivy League, I'm going to go with Princeton also, just like the men's. I'm going to stick with the Princeton Tigers. For the MAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference for the women, I'm going to ride with Fairfield in this one. For the MAC up north, just like the men's, I'm going to stick with Toledo. For the MEAC, give me Norfolk State to advance that one. The Missouri Valley Conference, give me Belmont for that one. Mountain West, the championship game is set. UNLV takes on San Diego State. Give me UNLV on that one. For the NEC, the Northeast Conference, give me one of the Cinderella teams. Give me Fairleigh Dickinson winning that one. The Patriot League, down to 4 teams. I'm going to go with Holy Cross to win that one. The Southland Conference, the championship game is set. Lamar taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Two Texas teams. Give me Lamar. I'm going to take the Lamar Cardinals in that one. SWAC championship. Just like the men, I'm going to go with Grambling State. I'm going to pick G-Men in that one. And then finally for the Western Athletic Conference, give me Grand Canyon University as well for that one. And that'll do it for predictions there. But possibly I will do another episode. They're going to be revealing the brackets. I know for the men, I think on Sunday. The women's, I think, is supposed to be the same day as well. Whatever day the brackets are released, I'm going to do a next episode on that. But I'm going to close out. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to pick a couple of NBA predictions here from Thursday to Tuesday. I'm not going to do a bunch. So I'm mainly focused on primetime games or a couple other big matchups. So for Thursday, March 14th, Suns and the Celtics. That's probably the best game of the week. Give me the Celtics at home. 9 p.m. Got Mavericks Thunder on ESPN. Give me the Oklahoma City Thunder. Friday, March 15th. Ooh, tough one for the Pelicans. They got to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. But it's at home. It's in New Orleans. I have faith in this team. They can pull it off. Give me the Pelicans at home. And also, I'm going to pick one more game that night. Give me the Jazz over the Hawks. Do that one. Saturday, March 16th. One game on ABC. That'll be a big one. Warriors, Lakers. It's always a good game. I'm going to definitely ride with Golden State on that one. St. Patrick's Day. We got a slate of games on ABC. Suns and the Bucks at noon. Give me the Bucks. At 2:30, Nuggets, Mavericks. Give me the Nuggets. 8:30, Hawks, Clippers. Give me the Clippers on that one. Monday, March 18th. Your doubleheader on ESPN, Heat Sixers at 6:30. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat. And then at 9 p.m., Knicks, Warriors in San Francisco. I'm going to go with the New York Knicks. And finally, Tuesday, March 19th, I got the Pelicans on the road at the Nets. And give me the Nuggets on the road against the Timberwolves. So I think I did enough talking here. I think my brain's kind of scrambling here. But it was a good day. I feel a lot better from my sick days yesterday. McNeese is going to the big dance. I'm hoping they can get to a Sweet 16 for the first time ever. But right below your screen, you see my Twitter handle at MarcusLee337. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to me on YouTube to watch my live streams of SAT Sports anytime on demand. And I might do an early show next week. Possibly on Sunday. I will definitely keep you guys posted. But once March Madness starts, I'm going to be focusing more on that till we crown a national champion for men's and women's basketball. I'll try and talk a little more NASCAR. We might talk a little more NFL news when it comes to more trades or re-signs or franchise tagging and whatnot. But thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you this Sunday. Or I will see you guys possibly this Sunday, but see what happens. But thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I'll see you guys next week.